Hey there, I'm Jen, and today we're going to take a closer look at the Dainese Nexus 2 women's riding boots. Now, the Nexus 2 is actually coming on over from the men's line. It's been in the men's line for a couple years now, and with this new iteration of the Nexus 2, Dainese has also made a female-specific fit. The men's line also includes a air perforated version and a waterproof version. Here with the women's, we're only getting, I'll call it the original flavor. It doesn't have any of those special capabilities. So that's something I'd love to see as the years progress and we get more Nexus 2s into the women's line. So basically what Dainese has here now is that mid-grade option for the female rider. So it was a big leap from like riding shoes up to the Torque Out 3. Nexus 2 is going to slot right in there and give you an affordable option. So this is for the sport riders out there. You want something for your everyday street riding, but also you might be doing the occasional track day, things like that. The Nexus 2 is going to be a boot that will serve you well. Now the Nexus 2 prices in around $350. It's going to ship to you for free, and as always, our price match policy is in place to guarantee you the lowest price available. All right, so let's talk about sizing. I'm normally a size 38 in European boots, and that is the size that fits me in the Nexus 2. So in that sense, it's a true to size fit. Let's say you don't know your European sizing and you're going by the US sizing on the sizing chart. In that case, I would recommend ordering one size down from your US size. All right, so let's talk about all the different features and benefits of the Nexus 2 women's riding boot. I'm gonna take you up front in this front view. You're gonna see right away a big shin plate armor here. That's really good for the sport rider. If you have a slip off on the foot peg and you're gonna drill your shin into it, that's kind of the protection you're gonna need. Also wanna point out that this is a full height boot. It's gonna measure in here at around the 12-inch mark for how tall it is. Moving on down into the bellows here. So these accordion bellows are really good for the mobility of the boot. It's gonna move with the natural flex of your ankle. Coming into the toe box area, it is a reinforced toe box. You can see not a lot of flex there, some really good protection in the toe. And you're of course gonna see this shifter pad here on top. That's good for all-day comfort as you're shifting through gears. Also, that double layer is really good to help with the longevity of the boot. Now looking at the toe slider area, of course all sport riders are going to want something like this to protect the toe as they're getting nice and low at the street or track. And it is removable, so you see these screws, you could just pop this on and off as you wear through the slider. I would say one of the upgrades you would see in the Torque Out 3, for instance, instead of plastic, this would be a metal magnesium slider. So just something to be aware of as you compare the two. Moving right along, we're going to look at the outside lateral view of the Nexus 2. When it comes to the ankle bracing system, again, this is another area that you're going to see a slight difference between the Nexus 2 versus the Torque Out 3. But before we dive into those, I just want to say I really appreciate Dainese giving us a dual pivot system here in the ankle bracing. So when we look at the inside view, you'll see it's a complete bracing system. I look at some other manufacturers and they might actually only give you this ankle support on one side of the boot. For me, I really want that full support, especially in a sport boot, and you're going to have that here in the Nexus 2. Now when we look at the Torque Out 3, it's just a little bit thicker, more plastic pieces, more robust bracing system compared to the Nexus 2. Don't let this outer exterior fool you though, because behind the microfiber leather here, there is still some rigidity in the bracing system. Just want to make sure you're aware of that. Now as we look at the sole of the Nexus 2, it is a thermo rubber molded sole, typical of a sport riding boot. You're going to get about a ½ lift out of the heel, so not a lot happening there. And then on the flex scale, we call this a 5 out of 10, so it's still pretty rigid. It has that nylon reinforced shank, so again, these are kind of the support and protective features you expect out of a sport boot. That unfortunately means not going to be super flexible for walking around town. As we look at the bottom, just want to point out it has Dainese sport grip down here, so you're going to have some good traction on the foot pegs and also off the bike as well. As we take a look at the rear view, I just want to point out, I'm sure you saw it on this view, and then it wraps all the way around. You've got a good reinforced heel cup here and that hard TPU material. And also for whatever's not that shiny hard armor, you've got a microfiber synthetic leather, and those are the main construction components of the Nexus 2. But I do want to talk about one of my favorite features on the back side of the boot, and that is going to be this zipper entryway into an adjustable Velcro system here on the inside. So it's really up to you to fine-tune that fit to what you need, whether it's you're working with a different style pants or you need a little bit more room around your calves. You've got some options there to make the Nexus 2 work for you. And then on the inside view, again, I just want to give you a full view of that ankle bracing system we talked about and show off again that full wrapping around feature of the heel cup. And so that's going to do it. That's your 360 overview of the Dainese Nexus 2 women's riding boots. Again, this is a great mid-grade option for the sport rider out there. You're going to do a lot of aggressive sport riding on the street and the track. This is a boot that can do both for sure. And in the future, I can't wait to see a perforated version. I ride in a really hot climate, so it'll be nice to get a little breathability out of a riding boot like this one. But if you have more questions, hit the info button on your desktop or mobile device. It's going to redirect you to the product page where you see more product features, other colorways. This guy comes in aqua, it is on fire. And you're going to see some reviews from riders like yourself. And if you have even more questions, you can always give our customer service a call. They're going to help you find a riding boot that best suits your needs. All right, well, thanks for hanging out as we take a closer look at the Dainese Nexus 2 women's riding boots. I'm Jen, keep it on 2.